Joining us on the Go-Getter Cruise is Lori Yanuck. Lori shared her vast knowledge of all things Avon and how to build an incredibly profitable and rewarding Avon business. Lori's been a senior for many years. Her total unit sales last year, her team sales were $1.5 million. She sells at Rose Circle presently. She's been in Avon for 22 years. She's achieved David McConnell Club, which is the highest sales of almost $67,000 in just 1 year for her personal sales. Lori consistently achieves number 1, 2, or 3 highest award sales and sales increase. Help me welcome Lori Yanuck.
Yay. Okay, that's a little bit about me. My very first year, it wasn't quite a year, I made Honor Society. I did not join leadership for over 10 years because, well, I just didn't understand it, to be honest with you. So I'm behind. See, if I'd have joined with Lisa Wilbur, I'd be right up there with her. But anyhow, I have been with Avon for 22 years total. And up until we changed divisions and districts, when they changed over, I was always either 1, 2, or 3 in highest award sales or total increase. So I'm going to try to tell you how I did that. Now, why did I choose Avon? I was a manager at Long John Silver's, and it required me to work 48 hours a week. And, well, when I had my first child, I never knew I'd fall in love with this little buddy and this little girl, and it was really hard to drop her off in the morning. Every time I left her, this is how I would be till I got to work. And they're like, you're such a big baby. And I go, but I just love her so much. And I was lucky. I really got to spend 3 months with her, and that's probably why I was so attached to her. But anyhow, my mother-in-law, believe it or not, said to me, why don't you try Avon? Our Avon lady passed away, sadly. Barb laughed at that. And I said, oh, wow, my mother used to do that. I should try that. So I called someone told me who to call, and I called her, but it was the wrong district. And so she came to my house, and she explained it to me, and here's where it was good for me. I was on maternity leave still collecting a check. I was on a very long maternity leave, and I was still getting bonus money because my store was doing very well. So I was like, living off that money. So that gave me the funds to, I think that if you were brand new and, so you know where I'm coming from. So anyhow, I knew that if I could make this work, I would not have to have that feeling anymore. And it was wonderful because I was so scared. You can't even imagine. I would walk up to a door and knock on a door. I lived in a town I didn't know. I had to move where I was, and I didn't know anybody. But you know what? They were so happy to see me. They were like, oh my God, I haven't seen an Avon book in forever. So they were really excited. So that made it a lot easier. It was like, okay. And then I started I can't wait to go out and knock on doors. Who am I going to meet today? It was amazing. So anyhow, getting back to my values, when my mother-in-law, and I love her, and she's a wonderful woman, but when she watched my daughter for me, she didn't adhere to my rules. She wanted to be the good grandma, and that's fine. I won't do that to my daughter-in-law. I promise you that. If I'm helping you raise your child, I'm going to do what you ask me to do. I'm not going to do what you think. She wanted to be the fun grandma. So that was another thing that helped me knock on those doors, is because of the fact that I did not want someone else raising my daughter. I didn't want her instilling what she thought was okay, but it wasn't how I wanted to raise my child. So that was my value. And the investment was only $20. You hear about other companies, and they want a couple $100, and that's a little bit, it's a hard pill to swallow, what if it doesn't work out? For now, it's only $10. It's cost of lunch. If it doesn't work out, you're only out $10. So that was another thing. And I probably have that a little bit backwards, but personal belief and motivation. I had to have a mindset. Before I started reading everything before I put my name on the back of the books. I tried to do what I had to do. And then I read, and then I thought, okay, learn this book in case they ask you a question. It kind of self-taught. You know, I just said, what's in this book? What do I use? Things like that. So, and then up there, it's a set of beliefs or a way of thinking that determines one's behavior, outlook, and mental attitude. Do you think that if I went out the door and said to myself, nobody's going to buy Avon, why am I doing this? It's going to be a waste of my time. You bring about what you think about. I said to myself that if I'm going to stay home with my children, I'm going to have to suck it up and knock on these doors and make this happen for myself. Thank you. Okay, so again, then I had to say, okay, oh, hey, how about a wonderful husband? I made more money than him. And he said to me, I said, hey, you know how this is hard for me to leave our daughter. And he said, you know what, honey, if you can just pay for groceries, we're going to lose our health insurance. You can put food on the table, put clothing on the children's back. You're going to have to pay for those expensive diapers. Where do you think we're going to get this money? I said, well, if I can do it with Avon, will that be all right with you? And he said, absolutely. So that was good. So now I had to look at the receipts and say, how much do I spend every 2 weeks? Or, you know, because you get paid every 2 weeks when you work for somebody else. And you can figure out from the commission chart how much money you need. So that's what I did. I just said I have to sell X amount of dollars. Then I found out about a wonderful private school that was really expensive. And I said, but you know what? The sky is the limit. Whatever amount of money I need to make, I can earn. And I tell you what, if by Monday I didn't hit that target number, I didn't get off that phone, I put out more books, I called people, you have an order for a while, I said, okay, now I got it. I got what I need. So how do you do this? And I don't even know if you guys are all veterans. I don't even know if we should even go over it. Maybe raise your hands if you want me to talk about how to sell Avon. Okay, great. I will. So what I did was I let everybody know I was in Avon. I called them up. I said, hey, I'm getting into Avon. I'm going to try to make this work. If you can support me in any way, taking it to work, passing it out to another family member, your neighbor, I would greatly appreciate it. So I worked it in the neighborhood and anybody that I knew. Your store is actually your brochure. And back in the day, we didn't have websites, but wow, what a great tool that is. But I do believe that the brochure sells the product, and if you're lucky, they'll go online and they'll place the order. I love when I see that I made $52, and I'm like, wonder who ordered that, and then I go look and see, and it's somebody I don't even know. And oh, how about this, guys? You get to choose where you want to work. I didn't have to go outside to the next door neighbor. I said, Grandma Barb, where do people have a little bit of extra money? I said, I want to sell to people when I show up at the door, they can pay me. I never had to worry about getting paid. So I knew my paycheck was there. And you know what? I believe in my heart that if I showed up not looking like an Avon, and what I call an Avon representative, you may be comfortable in jeans and a t-shirt, and I'm not going to say there's a lady that kicks my butt, and she doesn't even wear a stitch of makeup, but she sells $130,000 a year. But I believe in my heart, I got complimented. They were like, wow, you're the first Avon lady that looks like somebody who should be selling Avon. And that would made me feel good. I said, wow, that really speaks volumes to me. And then businesses and residents, that's where I sold, just so you know. I started out in the residential areas, and then one of the ladies said that she worked at a doctor's office, and I said, do you think they would care if I'd come by? And boy, did I love businesses, guys, because you're talking 3, 4, 5 people, and they just fed off of each other when I showed demos. I mean, the doctor one time ordered 30 of those Thomas Kincaid fountains. I couldn't believe it, just showing the girls that, and Avon couldn't fill the order. But It was a little late in the season. So, and then I like the direct approach, but I'm here to learn how to do indirect. You can feed it to me, you can tell me, I can read about it, but I'd like to see it being done. So, Barb, that's on you. Oh, look at that cute little thing we found. I love that because it shows success and the different things that you need for success, the leadership, the quality of the product, marketing, innovation, and profit. So we're going to learn a lot about that. And I wanted to give you 2 examples. Oh, we're out of time. Not too much longer. Okay. I want to give you 2 examples. The way that I did that, the way that I did it at first was there was a little note that the manager had given me that said, hi, she had it that it said, I'm your new neighborhood representative. But what I ended up doing was changing the words to, hi, I'm your Avon I'm a representative in your area trying to build my business. And if I missed you today, I will return. And then I put a date and a time. I dropped them off during the day, but I went back when my husband was home between 4 and 7 because people should be home by then. I gave them 2 days. Unless the weather report was bad, then I gave them 3. And what I would do is I would go knock on the door because they may not answer the first time, and that was pretty much the case. They didn't know who I was. It wasn't like I lived there. And so when I returned, they answered the door, and they had an order ready. And the little note said that if you're being serviced by an Avon representative, please continue to buy from her. But if you would like service from me, and I miss you when I come back, just please call me. But a lot of them left the book with their information on the door hanging, and then I just called them and said, hey, I got your, if they didn't answer when I stopped, I knew they weren't there. But what the cutest thing that I did was either way, have a cup of tea on me. The manager had suggested me buying Lipton tea, but I bought herbal tea that was flavored and gave it to them. I wanted to look a little classy. And then, so what if when I went back, there was no book and no one answered the door? I looked it up on, I'm trying to figure. I used to use a different system, but we can go to White Pages. So regardless of how I remember finding it, I think I had to go to the library. Whitepages.com, if you type in the name of the street, it'll bring you up all of the names and the house numbers. So when you're doing the door-to-door, you write down the name of the street and the house number, and then you can find out who it is. So, yeah. And then to demonstrate an example of the call, I would call and say, hi, my name's Lori Yanuck. I was in the hi, I'm Lori Yanuck. I was in the neighborhood. I was just wondering, did you get a chance to look at the Avon brochure that I left? And they would say, oh, yes, I did. And I'm like, great. Are you currently being serviced by an Avon representative? And they would say yes or no, and I'd be like, great, continue to buy from her. But if it would not offend your friend, your fellow representative, if you can pass this on to somebody, and I don't care where they live, I would, appreciate you moving my book for me. And they would always say yes. Whether they threw it in the garbage, I don't know, but they always said yes. So that made me feel good. And then, of course, then what would happen if they haven't had a representative, then I got to know them a little bit on the phone. Oh, my. That's all stuff you can find out online. I just want to tell you, campaign tools, campaign planning, it's all under there, under the campaign tools. And I love under the sales tools the compare and save. If you really want to build, you have to build a daily needs guys business. They have to need they have to run out of stuff so you can replace their product constantly. And you really need to keep yourself informed of the product and what those products do. Walking billboard. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, serve your customer. I was not an order taker. I didn't just want to throw you a book and give me an order. I know that works, but I didn't do that. Have knowledge of the products we sell. And I love to excite the customers, especially when you get to know them, because then you can say, oh my gosh, we have this new product. This does this, 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 and this. I'll go fast. I like to be a walking billboard. I do wear a pin when I'm out. When I want to work, I wear a pin. When I don't want to work, I don't wear a pin. And then the fortune truly is in the follow-up. If I tell you what, I can have a $100 order from people calling me, but I can have a $2,000 order when I pick up the phone. That is just the way it goes.
GoGetterCruise.com. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing.